Hey everyone, I'm just gonna run through some very basic warm-ups slash exercises that I like to do um, for my left hand. This is very like mindless. Once you pick a pattern, you can kind of just do it. So it's easy to run while you're watching Netflix, your favorite series, etc. So it's kind of nice to have this. I'm gonna run through these variations pretty spontaneously. I'm gonna kind of just improvise some different ways to mix it up. But the goal of this is to show you how to break out of an exercise once you learn it. So like once you have an exercise down, I really encourage you to come up with your own ways of mixing that up. Just stir it up. Um, Play it out of order. Play it backwards. Do anything you can imagine. Okay, so for example, this is the spider drill, as many people call it. It's very simple. You can use whatever kind of right hand technique you want. I'm going to focus more on the left hand for this, so you can use a pick. I'm using my fingernail as a pick kind of right now. You could just use your thumb, fingers, whatever you want. So everyone knows this. Not everyone, but most people that have been playing guitar have been assigned that at some point. It can get very boring very fast. So here's my first way of changing it up. We're going to do a skip forward, step back. And then backwards. On YouTube, it's very easy to slow things down. So if you need to slow something down in order to see what I'm doing, go for it. I'm gonna be a little bit rusty because I've had a few drinks and I haven't been doing this every day lately like I should, etc. That's the first mix up that I really like. The next one I call outside inside. So we do the outside fingers and then the inside fingers in an upward direction. Sounds kind of like sounds a little bit jazzy, even in the chromatic sense of this drill. I need to slow down for myself. And you could do inside outside if you want. Then that gets a little trickier when you're coming up. It's harder to see. That one's kind of fun. So, okay, there's some, I want to talk about different shapes you can make. So a lot of times your fingers do need to stretch a little bit farther than this. So you don't need to stretch your middle two fingers, but a lot of times you'll have to stretch between your pointer and your middle and between your ring and your pinky. So first, I'll just go back to the very basic spider drill, but with a different shape. See how there's a whole step at the beginning? Okay, this is really good to like get your muscles used to stretching in some different ways. When you're going backwards, you could either keep that whole step in the same exact place, or you can change the gap to the pinky ring. This one's definitely harder, I think. Okay, so that one's fun. You can also do both stretches, so I don't like this one. This one hurts. I don't practice it very much. Okay, but you're getting yourself ready for all kinds of shapes that could be thrown at you. Let's try a harder pattern. So obviously, like you can come up with for yourself all the different orders of just 4 notes on one string, right? Like you could go. Actually, let's talk about one more before I move on to 2-string patterns. Let's talk about instead of just using each of the notes once, there's a lot of patterns that occur when you can repeat notes. So this one I like because it practices using one finger as an anchor, which can be a common musical occurrence. So we're going to go pointer, middle, pointer, ring, pointer, pinky. Okay, and then you can go pinky, ring, pinky, middle, pinky, pointer. Okay. You could also go, I like this one a lot. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2. Okay. Here's some 2-string patterns. What's a good example? I came up with this one the other day. Let's see. yeah. So it was like 2/5. This is kind of hard. Okay, here's another fifth. Then you go to the middle ones, and then you start over. 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay. So it's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that's a complicated one, but there's an 8 note pattern instead of one. You could go then you can like take notes out. You don't have to do every single note. You could I don't think I played that exactly. 1 2 4 5 6 1 2. So it's a 6-note pattern. Let me start that over. Do you see what I'm doing, right? Oh, forgot that string. If you fumble, make sure you slow down. Start it over and slow down. Accuracy is much more important than speed. So you'll notice that like when I fumble, I don't go back and restart at the same speed. I go back and restart a little bit slower, so it's manageable. Okay? And then you can, once you get it all perfect, see, I need to go a little slower. I wanted to go that fast, but it just means your fingers aren't ready. So don't be illusioned that your fingers are ready for something they're not ready for. We'll do one more. Really want to go fast. Focus. Almost, but that's a fun one. But the idea is to challenge yourself with as many different practices as you can. Yeah, this is hard because you have to ask yourself, how are you going to get to these different notes? String skipping skipping is a really important thing to practice. Because you need to ask yourself logistically, how do you get to this note if you need it? Let's try that again. So the whole idea is get yourself out of your comfort zone. That went a lot better. I want to do it with this finger. And you might find yourself having to make different stretches. And my right hand is doing other things now, right? But that's part of my style. It's part of my style. If you had to pick, you know, you have to decide, are you going to do, I guess the video wasn't showing that very well. You have to decide, are you going to alternate pick? Are you going to go all down? You know, those types of things. I started just because of my natural style. I started using different fingers. Okay. I like switching between my thumb and pointer. That's something I do when I'm soloing a lot. Yeah, these are starting to sound ugly. And so I've kind of shown for you, I don't know where I'd be doing this in real music, but like, who knows, right? And my hope, my real like creative hope, when exercising is to stumble upon a new musical idea. And for me as a writer, that's very exciting for me to like it's extra motivation to practice exercises, because I know that in any given practice session, using this approach that I'm showing you, I could come up with a new song idea. I might just like run into a pattern that catches my ear and think, oh, like maybe I should throw that into a major scale. So like if I like this pattern, this is back to the very basic, just for the sake of demonstration. If my ear kind of says, you know, I like that shape, then I should try it in like a major scale. That type of thing. It was the same thing, but just not chromatic. And it should twist your brain up. It should make you really have to think. That's the goal. Stretch yourself. For now, those are the variations I have. If that wasn't enough for you, please make your own. Maybe I'll be back with another lesson if I get, or another lesson on that if I get a string of more ideas on that. But I'd definitely be curious to hear about some of your favorite patterns for just finger practices, finger speed practices, and finger pattern challenges. Thanks for watching.